Hello there. Thanks for watching or listening to VIP Boxing's Bell to Bell podcast. We're on episode 158. You're either watching us on YouTube or listening on iTunes or Spotify. Thanks very much. You know me, Steve Lillis, and with me as always, the bottom of your screen there, my co-host, John Evans. Tonight's guest is the second week running. We've had an up-and-coming middleweight. Last week it was Bradley Goldsmith. This week it's 8-0 Marcus Tomlinson. Marcus, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Steve and John. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, we'll go back to we'll talk during the pod about what you're actually up to. But you're joining us from Dubai, where you're sparring with Hamzah Sheeraz. So, not a bad life, is it, at the moment for you?
Someone's got to do it, haven't they? So someone's got to get in there, haven't they? But I started sparring him, I think, about 3 weeks ago. And he was over in Preston.
That's right,
and, Alex, my coach, asked him, like, what's your plans and that, and he said he's got 2 weeks there and then he's over in Dubai. And I didn't think anything of it, just like, oh, nice, what a bit of an holiday for you. And then last week, his dad asked me, he said, have you got your passport ready? I thought, it's still not even sunk in. I'm here now, but it's just mad. It's just a crazy place, but I'm loving it. I'm just living the dream. So. Yeah,
so what is it you're doing? Who's looking? I mean, we're going to talk more about it, but just who's looking after you out there? Because I know Alex Matvienko is here because he contacted me today and suggested getting you on the pod.
Yeah, I'm. His dad's took me under his wing at the moment, so I'm living with his dad. Hamzah's with Ricky, and he's strength and conditioning coach. Just literally not far, about 5 minutes away from here. So. Yeah, I'm just with his dad and his uncle and his nephew.
It's an interesting thing there. And I remember Andy Aileen, who manages him, and I remember him telling me ages ago, with Hamzah, there's no expense spared with a training camp. He'll go where he has to be and everything. You know, he isn't scared of spending what's in the budget for a training camp on a training camp. He doesn't cut corners, does he, I'm told?
Yeah, it's I mean, his dad, I had a good chat with his dad this morning, and he's like the business side of it, and he stays away from like the training. He lets Ricky and that. It's a well-oiled machine. Like everyone knows exactly what role they're playing, and it's working. Evidently, it's working. So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, but I'm blessed to be a part of it.
Just moving off that, because we'll come back to it in a bit. What do you make of this middleweight scene at the minute? You know, we had Denzel Bentley look great, knocking out Danny Dignam at weekend. We've got Tyler Denny fighting.
Yeah, it is.
We've got Hamzah against Amo Williams. It's just fight after fight at the minute. What a mix this middleweight division's becoming.
Yeah, I mean, like throughout the years, middleweight has always been an entertaining. You know, everyone's always been interested in the middleweights because they move like lightweights and they hit like heavyweights. But yeah, it's wide open at the moment. But yeah, I'm just excited to see what happens in a couple of weeks' time on that Dubai show, the Saudi show. Yeah.
All right, thanks. Really we'll kick on now with a pod, and I'll start this week, John, if that's okay with yourself. I know you usually start, but if you're ready, we're run, John.
Yeah, we're going to be dead strict today as well
on the times. Right, you be strict, John. I tell you what, we can't ignore tonight, and the tragedy last night of Sheriff Laval passing away after his fight in Harrow. And you know what? Sometimes you think it's just fate when these things happen. You know, the ball, you know, the doctors there giving him CPR. People look to sometimes blame boxing, but, you know, I just think it was just fate, and everything was done to help this young man save. And it's just a tragedy. I got a call about 9 o'clock last night. One of my boxers was on the bill, and he was telling me what it was like in the dressing room there afterwards with Malin Varela. And it's just a tragedy. And, you know, it might be fate, but it brings home the dangers that what can happen in this sport. A young man leaving, 29 years of age, good amateur career, and now no longer with us. A tragedy. I just don't know what more to say to you. Anything to add, John, at all on that, Marcus?
No, it's crazy, isn't it? You know, we've been a long time, luckily, hasn't it, since we had a British guy, especially one in the middleweight division. You know, it's normally guys lower down the weights who get, isn't it, because of the weight making. And he'd been doing it for so long, you know, long amateur career, passed all his medicals, makes his professional debut, and that happens. And like you say, Steve, sometimes it might just be fate.
Yeah. Are you aware of all the, you know, when this sort of thing happens, Marcus? Do you get aware, you know, do the dangers of boxing go through in your mind at all? Or is it something you don't think of as a fighter? Is it just your job?
It is a weird one because it is quite harrowing to like think of it like that. You've kind of like got to go into the ring not thinking about that, but then again, boxing, you know, it shows like the brutality of what actually happens. I didn't actually see the fight. Was the fight a grueling fight? I mean,
I don't know. I just know
Davey won it. So
I just know he got dropped, and I'm told. Yeah. I mean, it's all second hand that the poor fella
took a shot,
went to one knee, and just fell forward. Just a tragedy and awful for everyone there. And you know, there's people there in tears last night. I know, you know, how upset Malin Varela was in the dressing room afterwards.
Well, I think they said it was a cardiac arrest.
Yeah, that's what's been suggested.
There's a lot of sportsmen, isn't there?
A lot of life in general with heart attacks the last few years.
Yeah, so we've seen it happening more and more in football, and then I suppose it'll happen in other sports.
Yeah. It's just like one of them things. It's another dark. Sorry, I was just saying it's like another dark day on boxing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it just makes you realise, you know, that, you know, and when people are so easy to slate boxers, aren't they, and slag them off behind the keyboards, and they don't. And this just shows that you don't realise that you're risking your life and for people's entertainment, and they don't get full credit sometimes, but you know, it's the world we live in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
thanks.
Yeah, very sad.
Thanks for that. We'll push on now with the good that we've seen in boxing. And round two, John, you're going to talk about what's next for Lomachenko.
Yeah. I think if you'd asked us, I don't think we talked about it last week, but I think we would have all predicted exactly what happened, wouldn't we? He was just too good, too clever, too slick for Kambosos, even at 36. The difference in skill was just so wide. But what next for Lomachenko? I know he said he's going to have a break, but I don't think he can afford to have too long a break. It wasn't a damaging fight for him. He barely got touched. And we've seen Shakur calling him out. I've seen Tank Davis calling him out. They're both very, very tough fights for Lomachenko at this stage, aren't they? But I think he'll run headlong towards one of them. It's just which one. I'd love to see Shakur get a breakout fight. I think Tank's already had his against Ryan Garcia. Tank's fighting Frank Martin, who's good. And I think it's all probably set up now for Shakur to do a job on Lomachenko, which sounds terrible, but use Lomachenko to make his own name because he's so talented, but he just can't get a breakthrough.
Marcus?
Well, yeah, does he go down the route of moving up to 140 to fight Gervonta, which is probably a more of a danger fight. But then again, Shakur's just a master at what he does as well. But I reckon, and like Johnny was saying about taking the time out, you can't really afford to take the time out because, like you say, age catches up with people. But to be fair with them, like Eastern European fighters, age seems to like defy them. They seem to like kind of get better, but they live the life, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. You know what? Yeah. What about this? Sorry.
Well, yeah, so I like that fight. I like that fight.
What about this one? As
I'm still.
But this one maybe the winner of Navarrete if he beats Berenchek. Is that for the WBO lightweight? What about that? Keeps it very much top ranked, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Keeps it top. That's a good style matchup for Shakur.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, but what styles? Sorry, Marcus. There's a slight delay.
I was just going to say I like. Sorry, I was just going to say I like Navarrete's style. He's very good. Yeah, I like his style. very fan friendly and to watch. So good Mexican fighter. But yeah, there's a lot of options in that lightweight.
Incredible man, Lomachenko. 397 amateur fights, still boxing at the highest level. So many amateur fights at the highest level, and still, you know, relatively fresh, shall we say? Incredible.
And still using the same style. You know, he's not slowed down and started holding his feet. He's still in and out, left and right, up and down, isn't he? It's crazy, really, when you think about it.
There's something Marcus touched on there, living the life. Very important.
Time, see.
Very.
Round 3, Marcus, we're going to lead us in. Tell us about life with Hamzah. And then John and myself might grill you with a couple of questions.
Yeah, well, like you say, life is very good, you know. We train at like midday for a few hours. You know, everything's set up like methodically, and everyone knows the place, and you know, everyone's like, you know, got their role to play, and it works for him. And then, you know, I'm living the life as a professional. You know, you come back, you rest, you eat, and then, you know, might take a nap, and then I'll train at night. He does his strength and conditioning separately, and then I've not actually started sparring yet. I'll spar tomorrow with him, and then I think I spar Thursday, and then next week I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then that'll be it before he goes off to Saudi. So, yeah.
I mean, I've been around your last couple of fights when you've been on VIP cards, and I know you trained diligently and lived a life. But have you learned anything that, oh, I'm going to take that from when you've been with Hamzah, that you think, wow, I don't do that sort of thing that will work for? I'm going to try that because that will work. Have we lost
Ricky? I watched him training with. Oh, am I still here?
Yeah, just call it if you start
just watching him training with Ricky. You know. Sorry. Yeah, just when he's with Ricky, watching him training with Rick. You know, they've got a very good bond, and they know, you know, exactly, you know, what to do when to do it. And yeah, like I just like you say, I'm just like a sponge soaking it up and taking it all in. And yeah, I mean, I train hard myself, so I mean, I can see my like comparisons of. I try to, you know, be as diligent as possible, and but yeah, it's, you know, everything's going great. It's flying, and you know, it's showing in the gym.
When you say you start sparring tomorrow,
over there still.
Yeah.
When you say you start sparring, did you do any work in Preston with him? Obviously, you did something.
Yeah.
What's it like the first time you climb through the ropes and you stand opposite Hamzah? Does the length of that jab take you by surprise? Is it the height? What is it? But the first thing that strikes you when you start with Hamzah?
He's a very patient fighter. He's very fit. It's not like a frenetic, high-paced rounds. It's like a bit of a chess match sort of thing, and I'm trying to work my way in, and he's obviously trying to keep me. You know, he sets a lot of traps, very long levers, and he does punch really hard. So I try not to. You don't want to take a few of them because, you know, we've seen him, you know, hurt a lot of people in sparring, but yeah, he's just a very patient fighter, and his shot selection is very good as well. Yeah, very good. That's what can take away from it. People like might doubt if he's like the real thing, but definitely you can see it, and he's gonna go, you know, places, definitely to the top. But yeah, it's great obviously it's a great experience for me as well, because he's, you know, asking me to come back sort of thing, so I must be doing something right. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's very good.
Brilliant. Round 4. Just talk about nepotism in boxing. It just seems if you're like a footballer, cricketer, rugby player, and your dad or brother's very good, you've still got to be a really, really good level to get the big wages and the top deal. But it just seems in boxing, you do get that little bit of a leg up if you've got that famous brother, dad, you know, Nico Ali Walsh is must probably the biggest one, the grand getting that top ranked deal. Good luck to me. I don't begrudge these guys that, but Adam Hamid, I'm not sure he's in the get to domestic title level, good enough to go pro. But these guys, I don't know who they're related to. There'll be club fighters and small hall fighters. And I just want, why is there always this nepotism in boxing? Because it's grossly unfair on guys that have ability that are stuck on small hall shows, maybe because they can't sell tickets or they, with an unfashionable gym manager or whatever. I just find it grates me a bit that these people are getting these deals. But in the same breath, I'm not begrudging them it because, as we've seen with what happened last night in Harrow, it's the hardest sport of all. What do you think, Marcus, when you see these sons of boxers getting big deals, and maybe they couldn't?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's just like the way the world works, though, isn't it? Like now, like boxing. I mean, over the past, boxing's always changing, but over the past, 10 years ago or so, like with social media and influencing and like. It's like who's got the most amount of followers or something, like who gets the biggest shout, don't they? But and I was just saying talking with Hamzah's dad, like it's not what you know, it's who you know in boxing.
Yeah.
And I can't say that a big enough like advocate for boxing is it's not what you know, it's who you know. You just need that. You need that breakout fight. If you're not like got a big promoter backing you or signed to any huge promotion. You just have to do it the hard way, don't you? And get that breakout fight and turn up on the night and do your job. But yeah, it's a hard one, but I can't really. Yeah, I don't really have much more else I can say on that. But yeah,
The one that's
it's a hard
puzzled
one.
me. I'm a big fan of Mick Hennessy. I always like how Mick keeps going and keeps rebounding.
Brilliant.
I like his son. I liked how he matched Michael Jr. But I used to quite like watching Mike Jr. But Francesca Hennessy, like I can't understand. They give press conferences talking about ring entrances. I mean, come on. Yeah, and that's probably the biggest example. But yeah, I agree. But you can't begrudge it because God, like we always say to boxers, never work out your hourly wage. But so you never begrudge any of them a penny. But some of them just don't make any sense.
Just so lucky. But as you say, it's it grates me. But I say good luck to him. So none of that makes sense. What I'm saying, but you get my meaning. I think John and Marcus.
Yeah, I get it.
Right. We're on the penultimate round, John, and this is your shout. I think, John, the winner of Usyk and Fury or Lennox. Go on, fire away.
Yeah, the first Saturday night, providing it's not a draw, which you can never put past it, can you? We'll get the first undisputed champ since Lennox beat Evander Holyfield 25 years ago. Now, Lennox is always talking about as a great, isn't he? Or one of the top 10 heavyweights of all time.
No doubt.
Who'd win between him and Fury and Usyk? If Usyk beats Fury, he goes down as one of the greats. Consider what he did as an amateur, and then in cruiserweight division full of killers, and then he's come through. He's beat Joshua and Fury, best of his era. If Fury wins, he's beaten everybody of his era apart from Joshua. Incredible. Do they belong in the same sentence as Lennox? I just can't get past. I think Lennox and that era of 90s heavyweights were just a different breed. And I think Lennox's jab, his power, his fitness was underrated when he was on it, when he'd really prepared for a fight. And I just think Lennox would probably have a bit too much. But what do you two think?
He'd have more than a bit too much, John. He'd have far too much. Two defeats as a professional, avenged them both. The only fight we never saw really in the 90s that we were really robbed of was Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis. That would have been, something else. And I'll drifting away here. That to me, Riddick Bowe, if he'd stayed dedicated, he would have been the greatest of all time. I thought it was phenomenal. But I can't compare these guys with Lennox Lewis. Those guys of the 90s and all that. That was a fantastic division, fantastic era. Lucky enough to be around it because I'm old. Brilliant, and I think a lot of these 80s guys who were lunatics would still be standing after among the current climate. That's just me, but I'm Lennox all the way. Go on, Marcus. You're a young man. You might be going with the young guns or the younger men.
No, I think you've hit the nail on the head, because then you've got like the likes of like David Tower and Klitschko and them guys, the beasts. They were proper beasts, weren't they, back in the day? I mean, like you say, though, Tyson, yeah, he's come through. He'll be a two-time 2-weight undisputed champion. So, that's some accolade in itself, isn't it? You can't. I mean, you can't really go wrong from there, can you? But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Actually, I was like toing and froing, like I always do it, but I was toing and froing, like Tyson or Fury, but I'll back Fury, man. I think he'll do it.
Yeah,
What do you think?
Well, we're going to go on to that in the next round. You're sort of leading us into that next round.
I've dinged the bell already.
Yeah, you did.
Called around it.
The Riddick Bull, what beat Evander Holyfield in that first fight.
Oh, I was there. Oh, brilliant.
I've got you a present, actually. I found something in my loft. I've got you a present. But he would have beaten
greatest round of heavyweight boxing ever, 10th round.
But the Riddick Bull that won that fight would have beat any heavyweight in history.
Not disagreeing with you. Not disagreeing. I just wish. It's just the problem with Riddick was that everyone else made their money off him. Rock Newman and all them vanished. The problem with Riddick was there was no one to get hold of him, give him that bit of love apart from maybe Futch. And just with Riddick, every time in the end, he had all that money in it. Every time he went in the kitchen, he did 15 rounds of the fridge. And it wasn't good enough for his career. But what a fighter. But no, Lennox beats these guys. But you know what? This isn't putting these fellas out. The winner on Saturday is still the greatest of his generation. It's like the Klitschkos. They might not be top 2 or 3, but they proved themselves the best of their era. And that's all you can do sometimes. And it's still a magnificent achievement that Fury and Usyk can, when they walk away from boxing, they were the best of their era.
Yeah. You're just carrying on then, Steve.
Well, we're going to round 6 now. And Marcus, you tell us why you're sticking with Fury.
I just think, like you say, a lot of people will look at the his previous fight, if you can call it that, with Ngannou, and write him off straight away. But we all know that he didn't turn up on the night, and he just can't afford to do it of a fight this speed and this magnitude. I think he'll be on the ball, and I just can't see him losing. Yeah, I just can't see him. I mean, but that takes nothing away from Usyk. He's very slick, and I think he'll cause him problems. But I just think he'll keep him away. I think he'll keep him away for 12 rounds. I don't think it'll. I mean, yeah, I don't think it'll go stoppage. I don't think. Well, yeah.
John,
what do you think?
You said you were toing and throwing. I'm still toing and throwing.
Honestly, it's
mad. I was thinking about it, and I was thinking Usyk. I'm thinking of Tyson's legs, what they were, and then tomorrow I could wake up and I find a call. You just hinted there about, well, not hinted. You said you think Tyson will keep it at range, and suddenly I'm thinking, is Tyson just going to make it dull and just win it off the jab and just win a convincing points decision? You've got me thinking that. I'm not sitting on the fence. I'll go for it. I've had this feeling for Usyk for the last couple of weeks after being big on Fury. You've got me thinking on Fury. I can't sit on the fence on bell to bell. I fancy Usyk.
Yeah.
John?
Yeah.
I can picture it going one or two ways. I can picture Usyk pot-shotting him and Fury just not being quite what he was and struggling to catch him, and Usyk winning clear on points. But then when I think about 3 rounds of that, Fury won't let that go 12. I think Fury's probably still got enough in him to make it messy and grab and maul and hold and make it dull and win a horrible fight, a stinker. But Fury always finds a way to win, doesn't he? Always. Even when he was in desperate trouble with Ngannou, he was nowhere near it, was he? And he somehow found a way to scrape that out. Against Wilder, first time he was done, and he got up and found a way. And I just think he might maul and grab and spoil his way to a win.
Yeah,
That's how I think.
100%.
That's how I think they'll go.
Let's set up the Joshua fight. But before we go, I think I know your answer. There's one more question for you, Marcus. Hamzah Sheeraz, I've been watching his interviews. He's talking very confident. Is he going to knock Ammo Williams out like he's predicting?
Hang on, just let me check he's not outside. No, but honestly, I think he'll do a demo job on him. I think it'll. I'm saying 3 rounds max on it. I thought. I mean, I've not really seen much of Ammo Williams, to be fair. I watched his last couple of fights, and he's looked okay. But honestly, I think it could be a demo job. Yeah, 3 rounds max. But
Do you get some credit for the
that's my prediction.
So when he does as John was just touching on, so when he does the post-fight interview, he gives you a big shout out.
I hope so. Well, like you say, I've helped him out a lot, but no, he's helped me. It's like tens and folds over. So yeah, it's I don't think you can ask for better sparring someone who's going to be literally in line for the WBC. Or I think that's what's on. I think that's what's on the an eliminator final.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't really ask a 6'4" middleweight as well, and I'm giving him good rounds. So you can't really argue. Yeah.
Hey, before we go, Steve, you know what we should mention from Saturday? I don't know what show people watched, and if they're listening to this, I assume they end up watching all the shows. What a fight between Ryan Garner and Liam Dillon.
I haven't seen it yet. It's there to watch. I know the result and all that. You predicted a great fight, and the Piranhas come of age.
You've got to love the Piranha. You've got to love the Piranha. What a style. What a style he's got. And I think any other super featherweight, I don't think would have stood up to what Liam Dillon stood up to. But he put it on Garner in the middle rounds, and Ryan had to dig in and show he can fight as well. And if you've not seen it yet, what a 10 rounds, well worth watching. Yeah.
My boxing on Saturday was the VIP show, and there was a Commonwealth super featherweight title fight between Kirsty Hill and Fatuma Zarika, a very good Kenyan who held the WBC super bantam a few years ago. And it was a split decision to Kirsty Hill. And it was one of the most astounding decisions I've ever seen. I haven't spoken to anybody who was there, anybody who thought Kirsty won, apart from 2 guys. Who was 2 of the 3 guys scoring it. It was staggering, the decision. But obviously it's just gone under the radar.
Yeah, it got screened back to Africa, didn't it, as well?
Yeah, unbelievable. It was a shocker.
Rematch.
Anyway, Marcus, thanks for it must be about, what is it, 7? It's about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. You're sparring tomorrow, and you're having a late night.
It's nearly. I know. I'm just nearly bedtime now. Getting ready for bed.
You'll have Ricky Fuentes and Hamzah's dad chasing you at the bed. You got a hard day tomorrow.
No. It's like the final. It probably will be like final week of hard. No, he doesn't. He's had the hard sparring. I've seen him. He was doing like 16 rounds back in Preston. So, he's kind of like getting up to that point where he don't want to peak too soon, because that's what he said happened last time. So, we're just. I think it's just me actually at the moment who's out here. We'll be just sparring him. So.
It peaked too soon for Liam Williams.
Sorry, did you say something, Johnny?
It peaked too soon for Liam Williams.
That's what they said, honestly. I know they said that's what they said. That's honestly. I know. Crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
He's a perfectionist, John. We knew that, and now we definitely know it.
That's what. Yeah, honestly, it was. Because he pumps 12 rounds out like it's nothing, and he only has 30 seconds rest. But that's what he said in the last fight, that they wanted to bring him down slowly, but he peaked too soon that fight. And he what round was it? The second, I think.
First.
Was it first? Yeah. Well, yeah. That's how perfect it has to be.
Yeah.
But,
Well, Marcus, thanks again. A brilliant guest. So hopefully get you on again soon. Big thanks to Alex Matvienko for suggesting you. John, thanks very much. I guess your working day's not over yet, John. So I'll let you get back to penning your stuff for boxing scene. Thanks everyone for watching or listening. Enjoy your week. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you. Thank you.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.